you cool cats and kittens, it's Steph. As we are constrained in our homes due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Netflix has released a documentary by the name Tiger King, which has risen to popularity. This documentary has Hello, you cool cats and kittens, it's Steph. As we're constrained in our homes due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Netflix has released a documentary by the name Tiger King, which has risen to popularity. This documentary has introduced us to the world of private ownerships of big cats. According to the WWF website, which is one of the world's leading conservation organizations, states one of the world's largest population of tigers exists not in the wild but in the United States. An estimated 5,000 tigers, the U.S. captive tiger populations exceeds the approximately 3,200 tigers in the wild. I am here to convince you to support the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which will protect the big cats that are already captive in the nation, as well as the general public. I am an animal lover. That is why I'm a vegetarian. I believe that all animals should be treated humanely. So with that said, today I will be introducing the current laws that are failing to protect big cats, as well as introducing the Big Cat Public Safety Act and why this is the solution for all the problems that we're facing today, as well as how you can help pass this act in our legislative branch of government. So let's begin. The current laws are not working to keep captivated big cats safe nor the general public. According to the article, Dangerous Animals in Captivity, X2 Tigers, Conflicts, Implications of Private Ownerships of Exotic Animals by Naihu Law, concludes that tiger private ownerships of dangerous exotic animals have broad implications for tigers and large carnivores conservations, public health, and animals' welfare. We support regulations of private ownerships by dangerous exotic animals and encourage scientific analysis of this continuous issue, meaning that the current laws that we have to regulate the private ownership of big cats in the United States have not worked properly. As you can see in this map provided by the Michigan State University, illustrates the different types of bans on ownerships that you can have throughout the nation. There is comprehensive bans, partial bans, states that require special permits, and no bans at all. 20 states including California have a comprehensive ban, which is the prohibit ownerships of exotic animals that are classified as dangerous. This list of animals that are in this classifications are wild cats, non-human primates, and large non-domestic carnivores. People may request a permit to own these exotic animals, but they must be for educational and scientific purpose. Partially bans states require different exotic animals to be banned. Like, you can own a small primate, and in states that require a special permit, you must pay a fee to the state and register with them, as well as provide proof of a livable habitat for the animal and have a liability insurance. And other states like Nevada do not have any bans or restrictions of owning big cats or exotic animals. So let's move on to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which is the governmental institution that is supposed to implement CITES. CITES is the International Convention of Endangered Species of the Wild Fauna and Flora, and it's an agreement among 175 nations to ensure that international trade of specimens of wild animals and plants do not threaten their survival. The tigers are also under the ESA, which is the Endangered Species Act of the United States, which prohibits their imports of products and parts throughout the United States. In 1998, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service excluded generic generic tigers, which is one of the tigers that you are most likely to see in the documentary Tiger King. This exclusion and loophole existed till 2016. So for 18 years, generic tigers were allowed to roam and be transported within the United States without any regulations or limitations. So we don't know how many tigers exist right now of that species. As reported in the article, one man's Zeus turns into a killing field in Ohio, published by the Wall Street Journal, written by Joe Barrett. It reveals that in 2011, a man released all of his exotic animals into the community after he'd taken his own life. Not only this heinous act left the community surrounded vulnerable, but also left the animals in a chaotic state. 48 out of the 50 animals were killed, and 18 of them were Bengal tigers and 12 of them were lions. This just shows that the current laws are not helping, and unfortunately the sheriffs made a tough decision to shoot and kill the animals because the priority was the safety of the general public. Now that we have talked about the current laws that are failing to protect both the general public and big cats, let's move on to learn about the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which is the HR 1380, and it was introduced in February 26, 2019 by House Representative Quigley Mike, and in the website IFAW, which is the International Fund for Animals Welfare, which is one of the largest animal welfare and conservation charities the world that advocates in their article, the Big Cat Public Safety Act can help protect lions and tigers in the wild. And they advocate in that article, the Big Cat Public Safety will prohibit individuals who are not licensed by the United States Department of Agriculture from owning big cats, and it will restrict the direct contact between cats and the public. Not only will this reduce the risk of people and improve the welfare of big cats in the United States, but it can prevent captive and wild populations of tigers and other threatened species for being illegally slaughtered and poached and supplied through the global wildlife trade. It is unclear the exact number of tigers that exist in the nation because, like stated in the map, each state has different regulations, and in the Wildlife Institute expresses that this is a problem that requires a federal solution. The current regulation patchwork is failing to protect public safety of animal welfare, with the states banning private ownerships of big cats and other states imposing partial or no restrictions or such ownership. Since every state varies, there is not an exact data. The Big Cat Public Safety Act will help us gather exact data as well as demonstrate where those big cats are living, so we are aware of which communities are safe or not. Currently, your people are allowed to pet cubs of tigers or lions. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, roadside zoos are allowed to provide that service of cubs from 8 to 12 weeks, meaning that the 4 weeks that they're more profitable compels these zookeepers, those roadside zookeepers, to keep breeding tigers and lions and other big cats, which can cause a saturation of this population. And because after 12 weeks they don't make as much monetary value, these cats can be facing very, very violent and dangerous living conditions. Now, you may ask, what can I do? Well, one thing that you can do as a consumer is not support roadside zoos that promote cub petting. You could go to the website of the you can go to the website of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. This is a non-profit organization that helps zoos and aquariums with conservation, education, and and rehabilitation, and recreation. And the San Diego Zoo and Safari are accredited by this association. So when you're traveling, you can go to the website and see if there's any zoos or aquariums that are accredited, because these zoos are truly trying to help the conservations of big cats and other wildlife. And you could also message our state senators and demand for this legislation to pass. As I had here, you could go to the IFAW website, and they already have a template where you could just fill in your name and zip code, and they will send a message to your Congress member that you're in support of the Big Cat Safety Act. If not, we have right here, or not. If not, you could you could call your local House representative or senator and demand that they support this bill. Thank you very much for listening to my speech. I hope that you're convinced to support this act, the Big Cat Public Safety Act, that will help protect big cats that are already in captivity in the United States, as well as the well-being of our general public. And we talked about the current laws and why they're not working, and why the Big Cat Public Safety Act will be the solution. I hope that you do understand that this lovely face is not a kitten and it's not a pet. Big cats are not meant to be pets. They are meant to be in the wild, and we should help preserve their natural habitat. Thank you.